Okay, thought I'd do a little garden tour. My larger stuff, my breeding stuff, and just specimen or almost specimen stuff. Um, Here is Mayday. Of course, everything is pretty much past its prime now, but still looks good. Mayday's getting pretty big. Here's my hand. Pretty big specimen now. So here is Celebration. My Celebration is getting big. It's real kind of sparse looking this year. It really needs to be repotted. It's didn't come out with a lot of leaves this year. It will next year though. It might even fill in later this year. Why I love Celebration so much. Last year I had it over on the other side of the yard and it was red. I moved it back to the spot I originally had it, and it is back to pink again. Morning sun instead of afternoon sun. That was the difference. So, love this cultivar. But it does have to be placed correctly. Here we have one that I really like. I planted in the ground and I pruned it up quite a bit because I don't have a lot of space here. I kind of, the things I planted in the ground are kind of jammed together. So not really ideal, especially for what I planted. But I had to get some things in the ground. This is, what is this? Felice. So you can see the nice reticulation in the leaves on Felice. I really like this one. This one it'll darken up. It's already, there's some leaves that are already darkening up, and then it'll actually end up turning red, kind of, and then or does it turn red? It'll turn red if you have it in enough sun. I don't know if there's enough sun here or not. But if it a little less sun, it's green, and then it has these new flushes of like yellow that turn to red. It's a really, it kind of has this bizarre twisting growth to it. I really like it. It looks sparse here because I really chopped it up this year. But I think it'll end up looking nice the way I have it. It's hard to tell here, but it actually looks better in person than it does on the camera. But Felice, highly recommend this one. It's great cultivar. Very underrated. Here we have my Bonsai Murayama. I don't really work on it like a true bonsai, but I do. I keep it in the more shallow pot. It's kind of pre-bonsai right now. See that it's got pretty cool nabari on it. It's just a plastic pot. I need to get a ceramic pot for it. But pretty cool. I've always liked a Murayama. That's a green prince. If anybody was interested in, I don't usually go over my conifers too much, but that's Cedrus Libani green prince. I actually cut this one back quite a bit this year, but it's still pretty big. Here, I had to cut this one back because it was looking kind of funky. So hopefully the growth on it ends up being nicer. This is Acer elegantulum. Look at that. Beautiful. It has bigger leaves than most palmatums. Actually, pretty much all palmatums. Maybe not Ruby Ridge. Maybe not Shazam. But the leaves are pretty big on this one. That is, oh, what is this? Goshiki Kotohime. It's a pretty good size Goshiki Kotohime. Great cultivar. I just love the growth on it. Have a little bit of, sometimes it throws some variegation. I've got a little bit on there this year on one of the lower branches. Kind of cool. There's Taman Nishiki. Obviously I need to prune this one out. It's got a lot of new growth that's reverted, so I'll have to do some pruning. I wanted to make sure all the branches had leafed out before I pruned it, though. It's about time. So if I show this on another video, it'll be all pruned up. There we have Cricket. That's the Fire Glow, this witch's broom off of Fire Glow. Doesn't get a ton of sun here. Gets enough though. I mean, I like the kind of two-tone effect it has with this. The more sunlight you give it, of course, the more red it's going to be, and then turns dark. Just like a Fire Glow. Here we have a witch's broom from Benny Shichihinga. That's Pink Princess. Starting to get some size to it now, as you can see. Pink Princess. That is Baby Dragon. This is a fast grower. I actually have had it for a few years, and it didn't grow that fast just because of the way I had it potted and the soils that I was using for it. I really did a lot of soil experimenting, and some of my some of my potted plants paid for it. But I finally found a soil that I really like, and they're all doing well now, or they're bouncing back. The ones that took a hit from it, had some root damage last year. That back there is Twombly's. I actually had Twombly's in a different area where it got more afternoon sun last year, and it held red all year. Great red cultivar. It grows more columnar. Right here we have Acer Circinatum hybrid, Morning Starburst. Often sold as Morton. They are claiming that it's a Pseudosibuldianum hybrid now. I guess because it can handle very, very cold weather. So down to 5A, 5B, maybe even down to 4 zones in some cases. So very cold hardy cultivar. Acer Circinatum X, Morning Starburst. Back here we have a snake bark type. This is Veitchii, Acer Critegifolium Veitchii. Critegifolium is hawthorn leaf maple. Tons of variegation. I mean, it's a great I don't know why it's not produced more. It's got excellent variegation. It's really a nice plant. More sunlight will give you more pink. More shade gives you more white. This one's kind of tucked back, as you can see, behind all my other trees, so it gets some dappled sunlight, but not a ton. Here, almost forgot about it, is my Hubs dwarf. Really cool dwarf. It comes out kind of a pink color, and then turns to green. has this irregular growth, similar to Goshiki Kodahime, but with larger leaves. This one right here, it's definitely past its prime. This is Allen's Gold. Turning green now, pretty much. But it's beautiful orange and yellow in the early spring. Unfortunately, this spot is actually too sunny for it. I just don't have a spot for it for as tall as it is. And it's getting fried already at the top. What tends to happen on this one, because I pretty much always have it in too sunny of a spot, is the leaves kind of fry like this, but then it sends out a second set of leaves that are actually seem to be more sun tolerant. I don't know what I'm going to do with this one. I really like it, but I don't really have a spot for it. So I might just end up cutting it down shorter so that I can actually give it some shade, because as tall as it is now, the shady areas that I have, I have other things that I want there, and so this one has to be put in more sun, unfortunately. Down here, looking very light green, light green yellow, is actually an autumn moon, believe it or not. It just doesn't get a lot of sun. This one was much bigger. I think I have some old videos of it where it's a larger plant. I cut it way back because I wanted it to be bushier. And I actually put it in a smaller pot. I root pruned it, put it in a smaller pot. You can see it's a little bit older. It's got a larger caliper on it, but it's smaller. Nice plant. I've always loved autumn moon. It's probably my favorite Shirasawanum. That and Arium are definitely probably my favorite Shirasawanums. I don't even have Arium anymore, but I like that one. Here, getting a lot of red in it because of the sun, is Acer seriolatum. So this one, I've noticed, it handles the sun really well, but it needs a lot of water when you have it in the sun. So it's kind of getting some, you can't see there, it's not bright enough, but some of the leaves are kind of getting a little bit fried, and it's just because I'm not watering it enough, I think. Because I've had it in a fabric pot in the years past, and I've always watered it a lot. I mean, I watered it like 3 or 4 times a week when it was in fabric pot, and it did really well. Now that I have it in a regular pot, I thought I could cut back on the watering, but apparently not. It needs its water. Acer seriolatum likes water. Still need good drainage though. That's very important, but it likes water. It's a pretty fast grower. I've got some seeds on it. Hopefully they make it. The problem with when maples dry out, don't get quite enough water, they tend to drop their seeds. So hopefully I get a few, because I'd really like to grow this one out, get some seedlings off of it, see what comes of it. Here in the ground, I'll try to go around. I have my palmatifolium. I actually pruned this one back quite a bit this year. This one gives me a lot of seeds. I don't have a lot of seedlings from it because I always kind of experiment. There's a seed, or Samara. I always experiment with the Samaras and planting seeds to see if I can do it without actually putting them in the fridge for a while. And this one definitely needs to be put in the fridge because its seedlings don't come up with my winters not being that cold. Just planting them outside doesn't work. So probably this next year, with the few seeds I have this year, it didn't produce much. I'll put those in the fridge. Hopefully we'll get a few palmatifolium seedlings out of it. Here we have Mendocino Sunrise, which I think is basically the same as Anne Irene. So the Mendocino maples discovered this as a sport on summer gold. Looking nice and yellow. Kurenai Jishi, if you can see that, it's really dark, hard to see. This one came out real sparse this year. Has like little tufts on the end, but all the leaves inside are real small. Not exactly sure what causes that, but I mean it's fine. I'm sure they'll probably just slowly increase in size. Maybe I need to give it a little fertilizer. Kurenai Jishi, it's a pretty big one now. This one, I would say, comes up to my chest, so it's probably 5 feet tall, or a little over 4, maybe 4.5 feet tall. Let's see, that is Hoshiadori, looking good, getting bigger. The variegation on that. Crows yelling at me up there. Acer Pictum Hoshiadori. Beautiful cultivar. Here we have Acer Pseudoplatanus Prince Andrew. It actually grew quite a bit this year. So definitely past its prime. It has like salmon colored leaves when they first come out. It gets the purple undersides though that Brillantissimum doesn't get. So that's one thing. And the leaves are a little bit more ornamental than Brillantissimum. But they both kind of get this variegated look to them, where they're kind of whitish with green veins. Good looking tree. Prince Andrew. Right here, this beauty is Blue Moon. Similar to like Moonrise, except I'd say that the colors are more pastel on this one, and the leaves are a bit smaller. I like it. I mean, I'm a real big fan of it. It seems to be growing pretty fast. I just got it last year, and probably doubled in size this year. It's in a 3-gallon pot now. I think I bought it as a 1-gallon. Let's see. Here we have Acer calcaratum. I actually got some seedlings out of this one. I had some really cool yellow seedlings sprout, but they promptly got fried by the sun. So we'll see. I'll keep planting these yearly. This one doesn't take any refrigerator time, so I can just plant them and they pop up. But I think I had maybe 7 or 8 of them actually germinate this last year, and I think I have 3 or 4 left. The rest of them just fried. They just kind of shriveled up in the sun. Let me move a couple out here. I have a bunch of trees kind of jammed back in the back here. This is really cool. Is Fukunagashi linear lobum with the really dark branches and kind of small leaves compared to other linear lobums. And back here, I have one that I need to stake up. This is Acer circinatum. Oh, it's getting dark here. Acer circinatum Elias Pacific Waterfall. Basically looks like a regular circinatum, except it's weeping. It's or kind of grows kind of with a contorted look. It's probably doubled in size this year since it first leafed out. Right here, this awesome looking one, this is First Flame. Acer pseudosibuldianum hybrid, First Flame. That's the secondary color. Look at that. It's like a rainbow. This thing's crazy looking. Beautiful, beautiful tree. I mean, probably the most intense color when it first comes out in the spring. Just this dark, burnt orange. A lot in a lot of sunlight, turns almost like a cherry red. That doesn't last very long. A couple weeks maybe until it starts turning green, and but then you get this new growth. There's some down here too. Look at that. Just insane colors. Beautiful tree. This is a real winner. One of the better new trees to come along, really. Acer pseudosibuldianum, First Flame. Here you have Acer tenuifolium. I do have some seedlings of this one too. Just a few, maybe 3 or 4. They pretty much look like the parent. I'm hoping to get some hybridizing going on with these. Get some different colors, maybe out of some of these species trees, or some different growth patterns. This is a cool tree though. It's very, very it's drought tolerant, heat tolerant, handles sun or shade. Great cultivar, beautiful, like yellow with red in the fall. It's a really nice tree. Acer tenuifolium. If you have a chance to get that one, I highly recommend it. Let's see, my big Biniotaki, looking good. It's grown quite a bit. Thing's getting big. It's probably 9-10 feet tall now. Right here is my big Flavescens. It's a great tree. It can handle a lot of sun. I'd say it's more mushroom shaped than like a viridis, and it definitely has more yellow in it in the spring than viridis, which is more like a light green. This is light green too, but it does get kind of a yellowish color to it. Here we have Acer pentaphyllum, really cool species tree. The rarest maple in the world, supposedly, in the wild anyway. This one's only hardy to zone 7, maybe only hardy to zone 8. So you people in colder zones, unfortunately, you can't keep this unless you have it in a greenhouse. Acer pentaphyllum. It's more closely related to trident maples like Acer bergerianum. They're in the same section as each other. Pentaphyllum, section pentaphyllum. Bergerianum is in that section as well. There's my Sunny, my Acer rufinerve. Sunny. Crazy looking leaves on this one. So this should be a much bigger tree now, but I like looking at the leaves, and I don't really want it to be a bigger tree. So I'm just going to clip it back and let it get real bushy like this. Let it have that kind of a hosta vibe. So anyway, but it gets pretty tall pretty fast. So if you're interested in this tree, just make sure you have a spot for it. They like really good drainage. Most of the snake barks do. I think I'm about done. for now. Here, yeah, you can't even see that, so I think I'll stop there. All right, I'll do another video here soon. Cheers.